We're getting rid of NBA. NHL, that show of a product is out. And now we got day baseball and the worst grind of them all.
Ellie De La Cruz on the Reds. He hits the ball a mile and he runs like the wind. He's must watch. Welcome to Gamblin and Ramblin, a weekly show where we react and rant about the weekend in sports betting. I'm Tim Kalinowski. You, my friend, are Charlie DiSturco. You can follow us both in the Action app, Action YouTube channel, Action Network HQ, TikTok, and Twitter. NBA finally over. Nuggets are your NBA Finals champions. Charlie, instant reaction, not really, 13 hours later.
Yeah, dude, you know what actually I think the funniest thing is that like Nikola Jokic, I was looking on Twitter the other night and he was like minus 10,000 to lead the series in assists. And shout out Jim Turvey winning the Jamal Murray assist series leader. But man,
dude, I wish I was on that so badly. By the way, that was Jamal Murray 42-1, right?
Dude, I see all these bets. You know what? I see all these future bets and I'm like, how did I not see any of these until they're like realistic possibilities? And then I'm tailing like Michael Porter Jr. to hit a three. And he goes like 1 for a million. Like I didn't even bet last night because I was like, I have no idea what to expect. I'm rooting for the Nuggets to close it out. I want Jokic to just win his ring. I've had enough of Jimmy Butler. I've had enough of the Miami Heat. I am excited that we are moving on. And also, it's the greatest time of year now. We're getting rid of NBA. NHL, that shit show of a product is out. And now we got day baseball and the worst grind of them all. We got baseball every day, too.
Dude, first off, all these people want to get rich quick. They want the, 155-1, more than that, 3,000-1 same game parlay. Like, dude, how about Jamal Murray to lead the finals in assists, 42-1? Is that good enough for you? Like,
dude, that's a short play.
But people are too lazy to bet futures. Like, they're too lazy to they want that quick hit. They want to bet rebounds and watch it, unfold in the first quarter or whatever. They don't want a series long type thing or a couple games to go to. I think people it's the TikTok effect. They just want the quick hit.
Or the Twitter too. Everyone's just posting their same game parlays. So my roommate came in last night and I'm sitting on the couch and he's like, what same game parlay are we betting? And I was like, we're not betting a same game parlay. And
no,
like,
dude, light that fucking ticket on fire, you clown.
He goes, I'm 0 for my last 22, Tim. I go, how many of those are same game parlays? He goes, all but 2. And the one of the 2 that he didn't bet that was a same game parlay was the Lakers to come back from down 3-0 in a series. I'm like, that's essentially a same game parlay. Like, you're betting these things expecting like a turnaround hit. It's not going to happen. You need to bet these props for the futures. Like Brandon Anderson cleaned up all of those guys at our company cleaned up in the finals with their futures instead of these same game parlays that I don't even know if I saw many that hit the last handful of games, especially with games that project to unders. And these games were all under. Like they were boring games.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point.
Very boring games. And then they were all unders. So and the way you win a same game parlay is by taking absurd odds that oh yeah, Max Strus to hit 5 threes, Tyler Hero to break his arm and still hit a 3. Like there's all these random legs that you could just fiddle in and make us miss this ticket.
I want to just ask you I want to say one thing. I was watching the Heat game last night and with that horrendous call on Butler,
oh my god,
on his 3, the landing zone, kicked his foot out, and I'm sitting there and I was watching with a couple people. And people are like, that's not a foul. Oh my God, it's not a foul. I go, I know it's not a foul. I know. But we still have to wait for review because this is still the glorified fucking WWE. We still have no, if you believe in this, that this has, that they completely play by the rules in this sport, you are, what's the point of, whining about the refs in the NBA when literally we see a clear-cut rule broken or not broken, and it's well, you know what? When they come back from this challenge, hold your horses. We have no idea. Remember, it's still the NBA. Like, that's how I look at Twitter. I'm like, are you guys all are like really this fool?
It's funny. I was with my 3 roommates, and they basically were like, this is the decision if the fix is in. If they want Miami to like, the fix is in for the Miami cover or the Miami comeback. Like, this call was a pivotal call that I mean, well, in time it was a pivotal call, right? They're down 4 and Jimmy gets fouled shooting a 3 because he sticks his leg out, it's just such a soft thing to do, to first off to like stick your leg out and draw contact. But second off, I thought the play was getting overturned. But obviously it's the NBA and they always seem to try and stage some late game dramatics. And it's a shame that like a big moment in the fourth quarter can just be ruined on that.
I not one time thought it was going to be a non-call. Not one time did I think that they were going to come back and overturn it, because why would they? Already called it on the floor. It's perfect. There's like slight contact. You can like sort of argue where his landing zone was, and then they come out and everyone's like, what? I'm like, are you guys still fooled by this nonsense? Like, they want it to go longer. Like, the fix isn't in, it's not rigged, but if they already called it on the floor, it's like, well, we could want this to go a little longer. Like, grow up, everybody.
Yeah, it was just the cherry on top of me just being like, I don't care about this dumb league. I'm like so happy it's over. I was rooting for it to end. I just needed it to end. I'm done with the NBA. You know, hasta la vista. We'll wait till next year. You know, it's summertime. No need to watch some basketball.
But, you know, at least we still have the NHL, the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, another disastrous product that, and Kachuk might not even play. That's like
dude, he's so hurt. He's so hurt.
Dude, if he doesn't play, there's a 0% chance they win. Like that, he's like literally like the entire engine.
I know, but he's like, not only that, he's just so fun to watch. Like he's just, and this is the tough thing about the NHL playoffs is it becomes so much like a war of attrition, and like now the way this guy plays, scoring, you know, 100 points a year and like a human torpedo, like eventually you break down, and he's
also getting battered.
Yeah, you get the special treatment. Yeah. You get the special treatment when you're that good too. It's like, I mean, he's so fun to watch. He's so entertaining. I don't want him to not be able to play, but looks like this series is dead and gone. Is it okay to say that the 2 finals in our 2 spring sports here that we're wrapping up kind of sucked? Is it okay to say that?
When is the last time we've saw, I guess, other than the Super Bowl, the last good championship? Even the March Madness was like...
Yeah. Remember that run we went on a couple years ago where it was like every championship in a row was like unbelievable? I think it was like Clemson, Alabama. Then it was like Patriots, Falcons, something like it just kept... Yeah,
well, Patriots, Falcons was unbelievable for you, not for me. I'm sitting there watching, not happy that the New England Patriots are winning another ring.
I mean,
it's almost like the playoffs are like it sucks because and this is what we talked about with like, I mean, they're not even in the NBA, but it's in the NHL, I guess specifically. Like some of these series, the championships are in like the conference finals because there's such a stark difference between the West and the Eastern Conference or whatever it may be. Like we talked about,
or the way it broke on both sides.
Exactly. And like when you look at, I'm trying to think of an example of this.
Vegas Edmonton was like basically, now that we look back, kind of the Stanley Cup, I guess.
Right. And then you get that, but it's also like you get the Vegas Edmonton, and then the next series you get like Vegas Dallas, and it's like, well, what are we doing here? You know, and it's nothing that we can do. It's just how everything breaks. It's just annoying that like we don't always get the best game in the final, whatever it is. When you know the end is coming and you don't get the best product in the last few games, it's kind of heartbreaking. Even in like the NFL, like that San Francisco Philly game, like Brock Purdy hurting his elbow immediately, like it just ruined the entire game. So like it sucks that like I mean these playoffs were horrible. I'm trying to think of even what the last March I'm trying to think of the last playoffs. My brain is like mush on remembering all this stuff. But like even last year's Kansas comeback against UNC in the national championship
Ooh.
was a great national championship.
Remember wasn't that first half awful though? Like,
yeah, but it was exactly overshadowed by an awful first half. And if you look at the Denver Miami series,
I'm really cool that I remember that.
No, it was. I live bet like Kansas like 4 times. It was, and then the Denver Miami series, it played. Yes, Miami stole a game, but it played almost worse for me than Denver LA when Denver swept LA, because at least like LA was in it the entire time. The amount of times that Miami just rolled over and died, like not rolled over and died because they tried to keep it close, but the pure pound for pound disadvantage Miami had was obvious.
Watching Miami, it was like you could just tell everything has to go right for them to keep it close. For that, everything was such a grind. They needed Denver to throw the ball out of bounds, and then they needed themselves to set up a wide open look, and hopefully one of these role players that somehow had was unbelievable against Boston shows out. Like that was kind of the entire thing.
It's the March Madness effect. It's how much do you like upsets? Because as the upsets progress, they naturally get more or less and less competitive, right? Like obviously Miami, every break broke right for them against the Boston Celtics. But if Boston ends up winning that game 7, we look back and we say, wow, what a great Eastern Conference Finals. And then we get Boston and Denver, which was pound for pound a better product that NBA could have put out on the court. And it's the same thing with like when St. Peter's made that run, or it was FDU this past year. Slowly but surely, it just slowly gets worse and worse as a product, because an upset is great once or twice, but the end run is not great.
It's Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd said this years ago, and people make fun of him, and he's like, we love Cinderellas, but be careful when you take Cinderella to the prom. Like that's, we love Cinderellas. But I was watching that game last night, and I'm an NBA casual, and I'm like, you know what? I miss a little Golden State versus LeBron. Like those, I'm such a fan of the same teams a couple of years in a row. I think it's so good.
I said that
you said it, yeah.
I was like, I love excellence. Like I love Alabama football. I know you're not a huge fan of them because you're a Clemson fan, but I love watching a team pound for pound be the best and dominate.
So you love the Patriots. That's why you love the Patriots.
Not when it directly affects my mental health. Like when I have to watch the Jets lose to the Patriots 2 times a year for the past 5 years of my entire life. When the Jets beat the Patriots, it's like one of the best things that's like just a weight off my shoulders. And I get to watch them instead lose on punt returns in the final of the game and these bullshit ass ways. But I love.
But then you get to go, wow, that's just excellence. That's excellent special teams.
No. I'm done. Bill Belichick I need him gone. I need the Patriots gone. Maybe we're finally seeing the turn of the tide turn with Aaron Rodgers now in New York. Maybe. But
yes, you wait.
The same old Jets is the same every year over year. But I do love excellence. Why I'm happy for Nikola Jokic at the end of the day. I'm happy for it. It's why I wish that not even the Bruins won, but the Bruins, the Maple Leafs are one of the teams that always was known for good hockey, even though the Maple Leafs not really in recent years.
They should be.
Yeah, they should be revered as such. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm happy for Jokic. I'm happy that Miami lost. I was done with the Cinderella story against Boston, and I was rooting for Boston in Game 7. So I wanted a better NBA Finals, and we didn't get it.
Yeah, I think we can continue to do this. But one of the things, too, it's a big testament to growing your team from homegrown talent, which I think is really cool, too. This could be the end of the super team, it just shows. I guess Golden State wins with homegrown talent, but the whole Durant thing. Either way, I the Celtics should be looking at Denver being okay, if they could do it, we can do it.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic got drafted during a McDonald's commercial, right?
And I know, it's so good. I love that clip.
Now he's the Finals MVP and arguably by the time his career over, the greatest center of all time, possibly, maybe.
I know he's not even a center though.
Yeah, I know he's like a point guard.
I'll tell you what, this time of year, right? And you just said NBA's over. Seeing my action app just bare, and the only thing we have left is WNBA and the old MLB. I'm It's really here, huh? It's really here.
Yeah,
And my baseball, how dialed how dialed in I am into the MLB. This past weekend was like one of my first weekends where I watched a ton of games, and I picked a good weekend to do so because that guy, Ellie De La Cruz, holy shit. If you ain't watching baseball, if you're not entertained by baseball, if you think this is stupid, if you hate the Red Sox, hate the Yankees, you need something new, well, there's this fella, Ellie De La Cruz on the Reds. He hits the ball a mile and he runs like the wind. He's must watch.
His infield single against Adam Wainwright, where he beat out Waino to the bag on a grounder to the first baseman, was incredible. And that's not even like putting a bow tie on how like the home run against Syndergaard was. That could have ended up in like Canada. Like, it was moonshot.
I saw this graphic that was like, rarely are balls still like a ball is never still rising as it goes over the fence, but De La Cruz was very close. It was like still on the rise by the warning track.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not love the Cincinnati Reds? That's what I'm saying right now. This team they're all young. They don't have great pitching, but every single like prospect has been brought up, and they're literally just playing. You can watch them play, and if you watch, you had the Royals last night. Like, if you watch them play, there's something about this team that makes me love them. And you know what? Like, the Mets are a disaster, so a lot of my focus has kind of gone towards Cincinnati. I love this team. Every single young player on this team makes me love baseball. And like, when I watch them play, it makes me remember like and gives me flashbacks to the days when I played baseball and I fell in love with the sport.
Dude, they don't quit. They're just fun. They're like, it's cool. It's great when we have a guy like Ellie on a team like the Reds, because it's like you don't feel like you're bandwagoning on this like star. You feel like you're kind of getting in early and you're like, well, I'm rooting for the Reds. Is anyone going to call me like a bandwagon? Like, I am all in on the Reds. It's like the perfect scenario.
I bet them to make the playoffs. I bet them to win the World Series at 600-1. I threw pizza money on it. Obviously bet responsibly because it's a long shot. But listen, their lineup is really good and they play as hard as any team in baseball every game. They have no business winning a lot of these games. They come out, Ellie gets called up, they take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. Then they take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. And then they come back and win against the Royals. And obviously it's the Royals, but there is no, like, they never throw the towel in. Even in the 10th inning when Friedel slides in, barely gets his foot in on Sal Perez, and he's like in the dugout like, I'm him. Like, freaking out, and everyone, it's a ragtag group of young kids that are just balling.
I've started my handicapping the MLB for the last 2 weeks every day with being like, what's the Reds line?
I know. And dude, and then I'm watching, and like yesterday I stayed away and took the under, which died on a Sal Perez home run in the 9th, because I was like, the Reds line seems fishy. We talked about this. And then today they're like, even money.
I know.
Jordan Lyles, who hasn't won a big league game this year. He's 0-10. I'm thinking I'm just going to take an Ellie De La Cruz home run and ride it out that way. Because
yeah, I guess that's
the wind's going out to right field. Ellie De La Cruz.
He don't need wind.
I know, but that helps. He's going to hit one, a pop-up, an infield pop-up, and it's just going to over the He's a game changer.
Oh, he's so good. He's so fun. I want to start this. Like we got to do something like your degenerate moment of the week. That, like, you had that time, like whatever, you're with family, you're with this, and it's like, I'm built different. I function on a different level than everybody else. For me, I was out to dinner with my girlfriend and her like entire family, grandparents, siblings, and we're at this like dive bar, and I'm just looking on my phone, waiting for Belmont to post, because I had Arcangelo, like everybody else at Action Network, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, yeah, like, you know, having someone who has money on a horse race ain't that big of a deal, but they don't have money on the horse race. So I have this on guy, and then the second they went off, I was like, I got up out of my seat and I went over to the bar side and I hung onto this horse. And I was the only one in the bar with the horse. And Arcangelo wins, and I'm like fist bumping, and then like going crazy. And then I walked out of the bar section. I was just like, and just casually walked back to my seat. And they're like, Tim, how'd the horse race go? I'm like, went pretty well. Yeah. Yeah. Did we order bread for the table? Like,
did we get our appetizers, drinks yet? Did anyone get me a water? That's funny. I've done that plenty of times where I've like excused myself to go to the bathroom to like stream like the 9th inning of a game just to like watch the final and come back. And I'm like, oh man, like there was a whole long line outside of the bathroom. Like it's only single stall. And meanwhile, there's like 7 urinals in the bathroom. So I've been there. My degenerate moment of the week. So I am a frequent visitor of ballparks. I like to go to the Yankee games. I like to go to the Mets games. I like to watch baseball, obviously. And I'm at the game, Tim, and I pull out my phone and what's this called? What's it called when you micro betting? That's what it's called. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I wonder if I can beat the sports books at guessing at saying the pitch. So I have like the pitch pulled up as ball. I have like $100 in my bet slip, and then I see ball, and I'm like pressing the button, and my girlfriend's there, like her friends are all there. I'm in the stands just like on my phone like this, and I'm like clicking. It didn't work. I tried like 7 different times to beat, because like sometimes they're slow, so you can find a way to beat it.
They do this in tennis. It's called court siding. Have you ever heard of this?
No. Is it just micro betting the same thing?
So they live bet on, like, they have someone at the tennis match, and they're live betting super quickly because they can see like when the point is like about to be won and the line hasn't their instincts, they know like, okay, like they just hit like Nadal off the court. This person's just going to put away this winner, and then the line will go up. So like they're hitting it before like this person hits the winner.
Interesting. See, that's easier than baseball because you're relying on like the pitch, and then you have to guess, and you have to like, I mean, I guess you can gauge the count and stuff like that, but like foul's a different one, strike, ball. So I'm sitting there with like ball pulled up, and I'm waiting to click, and I couldn't beat the sports book. But that was my degenerate moment of the week. I sat back and I was like, what am I even doing here? Like,
yeah, I
just need to get my chicken tenders and fries and enjoy the game.
And then when you're at a live event and you're sitting there betting the game live, and you're like, wait, is the game ahead of me? You're like, no, you're like, wait, am I ahead?
How is this already like locked and they already have a 2-1 count? It's one strike.
Yeah, no, they're playing this game in another dimension.
Yeah, Vegas always knows. I couldn't beat them, so.
Oh, well, you had to head off the payoff pitch. You're betting more MLB tonight. I'm betting MLB. I'm fully on the grind. I'm on the college baseball grind too. I love it. I love it so much. It's a great way to just. I tweeted it over the weekend. I said, I hate betting baseball so much, but I'm so glad it exists.
Yeah. I love baseball. There's nothing better than like having no plans and just sitting back and like throwing on a game and cracking a beer and just like watching like a game and having money on it, you know.
It's so good. Go Reds, go De La Cruz, maybe go Royals tonight if I fade my beloved Reds. Be sure to follow Charlie in the Action app at Charlie DiSturco. Follow me in the Action app, T Kalinowski 12. Follow Charlie on Twitter as well. Follow me on Twitter, TimmyCal12. Thank you for tuning in to Gamblin Ramblin. Have a great rest of your week. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, and hopefully the NHL can extend us and give us another couple of games. Have a good one, everyone.